Hi, welcome to Perry's Crafty Creations. Thanks for taking time out every day to hang out and to chat, Crafty, create with me. Today, I'm showing a tutorial request on how to make the hardcover journals. So I have my signatures all done, and they're just white papers in there with a front-facing page, and then that page there. I've got my internal papers, and I have some paper here. I'm going to need 2 more sheets of that paper, and then I have my bakery boards, and they are, find it here, this is what they are. They're 13 by 9 and it's a 6 count, and for this size journal, the signatures here, I used, I think it was 8.5 paper. Yeah, 8.5 by, I think it was 11. Can get that to open up for me. 8.5 by 11, I believe was the size. Yeah, 8.5 by 11 sheets of paper, and I used a linen type paper, I think is what it said. To me, it just feels like a little bit of like a really thin cloth mixed with paper, but it's kind of got like a line on it. So I have that, and got 3 of them. I only need 1/2 of this, so I cut it at the 13, I think, not 13, 9.5 mark, I think it was, or something like that. But you can see that it's going to be perfect. It will fit fine. So the next thing I need to do is I need to cut it up just a little bit more, because we don't need the whole thing. What we want is just a little bit of that cover, so like that much, because we don't want to use the whole thing on our cover. So we're going to need, let me turn it this way, and we'll remove that because we don't want that all. We're going to need about 5 inches, I think it is 5, about 5 inches. Yeah, because we're going to have a little bit of our fabric showing right there. So about 5.5 inches is what we're going to need for our covers. And for that, I'm going to use my cutter. To cut them in half, though, because they're so long, I just used this and I drew it on the line. But because I have this, and this will fit the 12-inch paper, we can go ahead and use this. So we want it cut to 5.5. So get it at that 5.5, and it will snap like that. Go deeper into it, and then it will give it that little snap. You can just take your scissors the rest of the way and cut through, or take that blade. I'm just going to use my scissors, and then we're going to want 1 more at that 5.5 mark as well. So we want a front and a back cover at the 5.5. You can flip it and just do it that way too. Cut it at that 5.5, and it should separate perfectly. It should. Sometimes it likes to be a pain though, because I think my cutter is only rated for like 5 pages, maybe, of paper. I think it's like 5 pages. You can see I'm struggling with the scissors to get it in there. So I need a front and a back. That's it. And let's cut that up a little bit better. Now that we don't have that there, we can get rid of those hanging pieces and the little offcuts that are not flat. We don't want those. Okay, just like that. Perfect, perfect. Oh. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Got them. Then we're going to take our paper. These babies. We're going to do our cover first. I'm using Fabri-Tac for mine. Make sure that cover is going to be on there. Yep. So I'm starting with the shiny side first, and we're going to apply that Fabri-Tac everywhere. And then kind of center it on here. And I give it a little squish. because that Fabri-Tac's going to grab a hold of that. I'm going to do it with both of them. So give it a little squishy, move it around after. Helps get that, ooh, I almost put it on the wrong side of the page. Helps get that glue going where we want it to. Give it a little squishy, squishy, squisher. Just like that. And while those are drying, we'll take our signatures. Make sure that they're lined up because you want them to be lined up. That part is key. And we've got a gold in there. So I want the gold in the center because these two have that red. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this page here. And this is a great way to use up those yucky papers you don't want to use, you don't like care about to see. And then we're going to line these two pages up here. We're going to glue them together. You want to make sure that your glue is not one like the Scotch glue for this, because you want to be able to move them together. You want your signatures to be together on this. You want them nice and tight together all the way around. It just got really dark in here. There we go. Oh, that went everywhere, didn't it? So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to add our glue right onto our signature. And I love the plaid paper, but it was the only one I had two of, because I already have these babies made up. So I just grab them and make them ready to go. Again, let's put those together. Let's get them together. Make sure it's nice and even all the way around. So really quickly, we've got 3 signatures all set to go in there, right? So they're all set to go, ready to go. We're going to open it back up to that first signature we did right here. And you don't have to do this part, it's just something that I prefer to do. And we're going to take and we're going to glue here. It's not a necessary step, it's my preference. We're going to push that down. We're going to close it right in there. Make sure that our page is right up to the interior on that. And I'm going to grab a wet wipe here, because I don't want that glue on that page right there. Let me get it off of that part too. Don't want it on that page. You want to make sure it's nice and even here. Then, where's my ruler? I just want to get my ruler up here on this page. Run my finger along there, because we want to make sure that it's going to get into here. Make it into our signature. And I'm going to use my ruler again and bring it up to that fold. So we're going to keep that ruler in there, pushed up against it, and kind of fold it. Give this a guideline where we're going to cut. So you can see now where we're going to be cutting. We'll follow that fold line. Just like that. It'll give us a nice even fold. Then we'll take our glue and put it in there. Move that glue around. You can even fold it at this point as well, just to get that glue moved around. And then I like to open it back up and look at it. Put it between the 2 pages of that signature, because we want to eliminate that extra paper here. And I'm just going to cut it away, following that guideline, using that other page as a reference, just like that. So we've got our page hidden, and then we'll do our other one the same exact way. Find where it meets. Right here is where they're meeting. Do it the same way. Get my glue in there. Same thing. Wow, that stuff is stringy, isn't it? The same thing we did before. I'm going to try and line it up a little bit more this way. And then let's take our ruler again. Line it up against our page. Run the nail down it because that's going to help it again. And then again, we're going to butt it up against that other page, fold it. Folding it helps create that line where we're going to cut. Got a little bit of a run up on that one, but that's okay. That's all right. A little white showing is fine. I'm going to actually put my glue on my paper over here instead. Right up to that line. Put that in there. I'm going to grab that. Make sure we got no runoffs. That looks good. Now we want to grab this piece here as our guide. Because we're going to cut that excess off using our piece here as our guide to cover that. And the same thing, I'm going to flip it this way this time because we do have a little bit here. I'm going to use that as a guide. Okay, so now you can see we have these on our outsides. Those extra papers. Move them out of the way. There's so much on my desk. Okay, we're all set with the ruler for now. We're gonna go back to these, so we're gonna set our signatures aside. We're gonna do our covers now. Very, very nice cover. I'm gonna go in a little bit and create like a little circle. Just remove a little bit in that corner. You can stay like that, but we're gonna have to come down a little bit more for this one. Gonna get a little bit in there. And if you don't have one of these tools, I got this at Joann's many, many, many years ago, and I absolutely love it. It's got that rotating blade on it, but if you don't have that kind of knifey thing, I don't even know what it's called, you can use scissors. You want to go in a little bit, but not quite up to that corner there. In a little, not quite up to the corner. Again, not quite up to that corner. What are you getting into? Sorry about that. Sass was into something. Okay, so next step, we're going to do our cover. We're going to fold that over, and these corners here, I'm going to tuck that little corner there. I'm going to tuck those in as well. So give it a little pinch, tuck it in, and you get that nice finished look. Ugh, that's so gross. The glue is gross. Add our tackiness, lovely here. Give it a good push inward. So pinch right there. And then do the same on this one. You're gonna pinch that in. So we'll add this side here. Bring it in. Beautiful. pinch those corners in, kind of like you're doing a wrapping paper, like you're tucking in those sleeves on the wrapping paper. And add your glue. Get the glue in the corners too, because it will help keep that in there. And so you don't get the gross fingers when you're pushing in those corners, because that glue is going to probably seep out. Like that. Beautiful, beautiful. This bottle is really gross. It's the only thing I don't like about their glue. That and the smell is nasty. Alright, tuck there. Tuck it in like that. So that little tuck. It's going to give us those pretty corners when we're done our thing. Add our glue into that corner and into that corner. Push it down. Grab our wet wipe there. It's gonna, you don't want to have it too saturated because then it could ruin your paper. Then we're gonna take our other piece of paper here and we're gonna kind of mark it like right there. So we want to go inside that line there. And inside that line there, and that's where our ruler comes in, because we want to measure what we want this at. So our cover is 9.5 by 5.5. So we want to go just under 9.5 and just under 5.5 with our cutter. So height wise is 9.5. Let's turn it this way. This way, because I already got my fold there. So just under 9.5, I'm going to go one line under 9.5. And then just under 5.5, again, I'm going to go one line under 5.5. Just like that. And let's do that other side as well while we're at it. So one line under 9.5 and one line under 5.5. Get them ready at the same time. And then you can decide here if you want to do the roundedness on it, but I kind of like the points. I think they're pretty. Remove any fuzzies that we may have gotten from our cutter. Grab our glue. Just like that. And we're going to place that on there. And when you're placing it, you don't want to push down just yet, because you want to make sure that it's even all the way around everywhere. And then I push it down like that, just to get it adhered. I kind of push it down on the ground. Not the ground. I push it into my desk, not the ground. And we've got one cover. I'm going to go ahead and do the other cover, and I'll be right back. Okay, so we have our covers done, and now we're going to do our cover page. So we're going to take it. So those covers were 9.5, right? We want to go under that line there. So we're going to go the next line down. And then the next cover page part was 5.5. So we're going to go the next line under the 5.5. And now for some fun. We've got our papers here ready to go. We've got our fabric here somewhere. There's our fabric. I love doing the fabric spines. So I got this really bright color here for the spine. Really, really bright. So what we're going to do is measure down about there. We're going to cut it, because not all of them are going to be the same size. So we want to cut it just slightly, a little bit longer. And I'm just going to take some of the Fabri-Tac and we're just going to do a little line across here like that. And we're going to fold it, almost creating like a seam. I'm just going to fold it in there. Make sure we've got enough room on that. We have some on the other side as well. I do our line, go in and fold it, so it stays just like that. Now we're gonna put it onto our journal, kind of like there. I like that position. So you want to add your glue directly onto your paper. About there's good. Let's take that fabric and we're going to put it on there. Pat it dry. We're going to go over, we're going to be loose about this part. We don't want to have it too tight because then our journal is not going to open. So you want to have it a little bit loose. So get that on there. You want to have it a little loose. You don't want it too tight. So a little movement. You want to be able to have that little bit of movement in your journal. Because if it's too tight, it's not going to work. So just like that. Now it's time to put it together. I'm going to take our cover here. This is where grid really helps. Got our cover, right? We're going to glue this all around again. Not all the way because we just want the pages. So start up here first. Add just a little bit because you want to have your book so a little bit of your spine is showing, just like that. So a little bit of your spine is going to be showing. Not a lot because you're going to have that much, but your fabric piece there. And play around with it. That's the fun part of making these. You get to play around with them and do whatever you want. You are the maker of it. Now we're going to lift this up kind of gently and add our glue in there. And not go all the way because we're not going all the way with our thing here. Remember, we didn't go all the way to that edge with it. But you want to move it so that you have it even there. You don't want it to be uneven. Like that. We don't want it uneven. Let's take our other piece here. We want them to be even, so I suggest tapping it on your desk and making sure that it's even, just like that. And you can take a pencil too, kind of mark it. Go inside your journal there. So you kind of got a line of where you're not putting your glue. So you can stay in that line. And get up to your edges. And again, put it on there and tap it because you're using a liquid glue. It's not going to dry really quickly. Make sure it's even. We definitely want to make sure our book is even because we don't want uneven pages. And then to finish it, I'm going to take another paper. Let's get those edges. It's one of the more complicated ones I've done, but I really love how it finishes. So we're going to put it right over that paper. Right over it that we just put down. We have that black binding there that we've got from before. Let's put that all the way down. Okay, make sure it's in there nice and tight like that. And then let's go to the last page. We'll do the same thing. I'm going to get that glue on there. Make sure we get all those pages. Not all those pages, all those corners. And then the same thing, we're going to cover that edge right up there. Making sure that we're all covered. This is going to help keep our journal intact as well from those pages, kind of like a cover page. And just like that, we have our journal all done. Really pretty spine. And it's a hard cover, which is gorgeous. The corners are really nice. So there's no need for corners on this one. And then you open it up, and the beauty of it is it lays flat. I love that part, that they lay completely flat. All the pages are completely flat. Beautiful. Beautiful journaling, flat. And you get to use up pages you don't really care for in like the center of that journal part here. But they're really pretty. And it lays flat, which is the best part, I think. So that is the tutorial for this one on how I make the hardcover journals, and the cake boards work beautifully. It's nice and thick. You have a nice hardcover for your journal. It's got a little bit of give to it, which is nice, but really, really beautiful looking journals. Thank y'all for watching. If you're still here, have a great day. I'll see you in the next video.